I don't know how we're gonna do this because I'm running on a time crunch here. Between my battery dying and the fact that I have to leave for class in about an hour, we're just gonna leave it up to chance and see what happens first. If the battery dies first, most likely I'm gonna have to do this all over again. It's Artist Avenue Cosplay. I don't really know how to make an intro yet. I've thought about doing something really stupid and corny like, welcome down to Artist Avenue. We'll work on it. We'll work on it. It's okay. Welcome to the first ever face-to-camera video thing, even though it's not the first one. I did 2 others when this channel first started and I hate them. And I'd love to redo them. That's the old me. This is the new me. That's my only excuse. I wanted to wear my glasses, but the glare from the light is making it very difficult. But can we just appreciate the fact that I look like Bayonetta with my glasses? Like, bam. Bam. I am Bayonetta. I will one day cosplay her because she is a saint and I love her. She's my waifu. Hopefully you're here for the fact of the title. This is not clickbait. I am starting up the new segment here of cosplay story times because it is something that I've been wanting to do. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I started a poll not too long ago where I compiled a whole bunch of different videos that I wanted to do, personally that I wanted to do. And then I did a poll on what you guys, out of my favorites, wanted to see. Makeup tutorials, sort of, transformations, work in progresses, but the one that won an astounding vote was cosplay story times, which is great because I really wanted to do that one. So I'm super excited to start that. I also did a poll on what story I should start with because I was really conflicted on which one I wanted to start with. But for future videos, specifically for cosplay story time, I will most likely do more polls to see what people want to see next, and I've kind of compiled a list in this little booklet that I love so much because it's Zelda and Zelda is precious. But if you want to be involved and vote for the next video or see what I'm thinking of doing next, you can go to my Instagram, which will be linked down below as well. But for the time being, let's start this story. Yes. The story that we are doing, which is in the title, is how I was stalked as Markiplier. Yeah, this actually seems to happen a lot when I'm Markiplier. I don't really know why. That's why I also wore his wig, so it was fitting. Set the scenario for you here. This incident happened at my first CoronecoCon. You do not know what CoronecoCon is. It is a small con in Spokane, Washington. It's quite a drive for me, actually. But it's really fun. So this was CoronecoCon 2016. So it's been a while since I had been there. I'm actually going back this summer. I'm super excited. I'm going to be in 2 panels this year, so it's kind of coming around. The first year I went, I mainly went because a group of cosplayers had asked me to be Undyne in their Undertale panel. This was when I first made Undyne. I fixed her up for that con to make her look better because my first time was so mad. I was super excited because this was the first time anyone has ever asked me to be in a panel that I didn't already know. So these people were basically internet friends, and I got to know them through the panel and through CoronecoCon. Back then, the con was only 2 days, so we only had a lineup of 2 characters. The first day I was Undyne, and the second day I was Markiplier. I went with 2 other people for safety reasons, I will not name them. We will call them Bob and Brenda, because I'm original. So me, Bob, and Brenda went to Corona EchoCon. The first day, it was kind of like a themed thing. We went as Undertale, and then Bob went as something else. I won't say that because I haven't asked him whether or not he wants to be named, so I'm just gonna say he went as something else. And it was really fun, really hot for one, so Undyne was like a mistake that I wore. So yeah, the first day I went as Undyne. We did our panel. It was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with my internet friends and meet them and hang out and experience Spokane because I had never been there before. But you're probably wanting to get to the actual title of the story. So the second day, I was feeling actually pretty discouraged because the whole group of us, me, Brenda, and Bob, went as YouTubers. So we kind of had a theme going on that whole day, all of us. I felt discouraged mainly for the fact that they were going as YouTubers that were in the same channel. I'm not going to name who they are because, again, keeping discreet. But since they were kind of in the same group, you know, I felt like the odd man out. And at the time, even though Markiplier was popular, he wasn't that popular. Of course, he was way popular, but as he is now, he wasn't quite that way. And I was afraid no one was going to know who I was just by the wig alone, so like, I made a shirt that had his logo on it, I wore a red flannel, I carried around a Foxy plushie and a Tiny Box Tim plushie, I had his name on my pants. I did everything in my power to make myself look like the ultimate stereotyped Markiplier at the time. Even though I was decked out head to toe as Markiplier, I was still kind of discouraged. All of that left when I walked into the door and I was swarmed by like 5 teenage girls squealing at me as if I was like the next Justin Bieber. It was a little overwhelming to say the least, because I had never actually cosplayed like a real person before. I think I did Cry once years ago when I first started cosplaying, but Markiplier was one where I did like the whole 9 yards and I made sure I looked like Markiplier did. So the whole day was kind of like that. I was like asked for pictures nonstop. It was really cool. I did a whole bunch of dabbing photos. He doesn't dab anymore, but I will still do it. I will still dab. It was about halfway through the day when things started to calm down a little bit. I was still being asked for photos and stuff, and we were just hanging around, me, Bob, and Bruna. And this girl comes up. I want to say she's about like 16. She was young but still old enough, you know, and she was accompanied by her sister, who was older, about like 18 tops, in her 20s. So she was definitely legal enough to like walk around her little sister and enjoy the con, most likely because she was a minor. So they came up to me and the older sister kind of has her hand like behind her back, and the little girl is just kind of like really nervous trying to be behind her and stuff. And she just asked me, she was like, hey, my sister's a huge fan of Markiplier, she really loves your cosplay, can she take a photo with you? She's really nervous to ask herself. And I was like, yeah, that's no problem with me. And you know, it was really fun, because when you usually get someone nervous about that, you just sort of like talk with them and let them know you're like a real person, you know, so it's not so awkward. And especially for like kids, I know she's only 16, but for kids, you know, just talking to them, reassuring them that you're as normal as can possibly be is the best you can probably do. So we took a picture, we did a few dabbing photos, and we talked a little bit about Markiplier afterwards. And usually with these types of situations, that's kind of where it ends. You know, you just take a picture, talk, and then just kind of ends from there. And I get the fact that this con was small. It was only 2 floors, so it was still really easy to like find people that you had already seen before. The weird part though was I didn't expect to have this happen even though it's a small con, you wouldn't expect to see someone that much. Throughout the rest of the day, as I'm hanging out with Brenda and Bob and my internet friend, I was noticing this girl was showing up quite a lot. A half hour after the first photo, she had dispersed from her big sister, started hanging out with like her friends and stuff, because you know, it's what we do, I guess, I don't know. There would be instances where I would like turn around and her friends were like doing like huddled together and laughing and pointing at me, and not in a bad way either. It's like in a stereotyped schoolgirl kind of way, like they'd be on the side like, hey, kind of. It was really weird. I kind of felt like I was in like some sort of anime and I was like senpai or something. Like, it was really weird. But it kind of ended up like that for a while, because then she would like come up and numerous times ask me for photos, different ones, like, you know, with her, without her, a selfie, just anything you can think of, she would just ask for a photo. And I didn't really think anything of this at the time, because I was just like, oh, she's 16, you know, she probably just wants, maybe it's her first con, maybe she just wants to experience it. Whoa, you can do it. I believe in you. So I didn't really write it off as anything bad. She just really wanted photos all the time, which was fine with me. But it started getting to the point where after she had even dispersed from her friend group, she was still there. Like, you ever get that feeling when you're being watched? Yeah, it was that feeling. It was definitely in that sort of case. It became to the point where it was just like kind of cute, giggling and like acting like I was senpai and asking photos, to straight up she would be like around the corner watching me walk away. Or at one point it started to become a little bit of a red flag after I came out of the dealer's hall. I come out and I look to the side to my right, and she's there. Like, she kind of looks around at first, and then she sees me and she just sort of like perks up a little bit, like she had been waiting there for a while for me to come out. And of course she even asked for a photo after I came out of there too. Seriously, how many photos does this girl own of me now? Like, it's kind of freaking me out. So it started to turn into sort of like an actual stalking thing at that point, and it was just her. I haven't seen her sister, I haven't seen any other guardians or her friends or anything, and I'm just like, this kid, can someone like do something? And in this situation, this is where I say, don't be like me. I thought just because, like, you know, she's 16, she doesn't really know any better or anything. Well, that's dumb, because I was 16 once. We've all been 16 once. You should know right from wrong, that, you know, if you make someone uncomfortable, you should stop, or the person should say something, or I should have reported it to con staff. But did I? I did not. Don't make my mistakes, please. If it does make you uncomfortable, regardless of age, tell someone. If it's a little kid, you know, like 10 or something, tell the parents. You know, and you don't have to bring like the staff or anything in, but tell someone. It's not okay if they're making you uncomfortable. You need to say something. So, of course, dumb me, I didn't say anything, and it progressively got from there. It was towards the end of the day when it got way worse, almost. I went to go take my friend back to her hotel room because she was leaving, and this is my internet friend. And we had like a heartfelt, tearful goodbye, you know. We were at her hotel room, which the hotel room was close to the con. Unless you like were actually in that hotel or you followed us, you seriously wouldn't know what hotel we were going to. It was kind of in the crevice, so it was still pretty hard to see. I was in there for about like an hour saying goodbye to her and her friends, because we were all tearful and we didn't want to say goodbye and we were crying, and also we were there for an hour, so her mom got us Starbucks because she was probably really annoyed that we were taking so long. Finally, an hour later, she did end up having to leave because she had to get a flight. That's why I saw her off, because she lived further away than Spokane. After that, they had left. I stayed in the hotel room just for like a few more minutes, maybe a half hour, I don't know, because I was texting Bob and Brenda where they were so I could meet up with them, tell them, you know, I'm ready, we can go off. I think we went to like Toys R Us after that or something, hung out with some friends who were local in Spokane. Brenda and Bob said they were at the arcade on the second floor of the con, so I decided to go and meet with them and hang out with our friends that we were going to be hanging out with for the rest of the day. And this is where it got weird. So as I said before, this was kind of in a crevice, not far away from the con, but still in a crevice to where, unless you were actually at that hotel or you had followed us, there would have been no way for you to know I was there, especially since the hotel was dead empty. So when I walked out of the hotel and outside, the girl was to my right, looking around all awkward like it was before, and she was just standing there. And the reason I fully believe that she was stalking me is because if she was actually at that hotel, you would assume she would have gone to her hotel room, something. But no, she was out there, probably waiting that whole hour and a half, most likely, for me to come out of that hotel. She perked up when she saw me and yet again asked for another photo, and of course I kind of reluctantly was just like, sure. So we took a selfie together and I was like, cool, hope you had a good con, I'll see ya. Never. I didn't actually say that, but I said see ya, and I started to head back to the con, just kind of brushing off maybe that was her hotel room. I don't know her hotel. After she had said goodbye to me too, I started walking, and it was like a few paces into it that I kind of looked back and saw her following me a few feet away. So yeah, that's kind of where I figured that was not her hotel, and she was fully stalking me. I met up with Brenda and Bob. We played a few games in the arcade room, and we went to go meet up with some friends, so we were basically heading out, ending the con day. And we were at kind of like the main floor lobby, getting ready to exit, when Brenda kind of turns to me, and bless her, I guess, for noticing this as well, but she kind of turned to me and she was just like, you know, that girl's been like following you all day. Have you noticed that? And I kind of turned behind me, and lo and behold, the girl is actually there, kind of a few paces behind us, and it's weird, and I don't get it. But I told her that, yeah, I kind of noticed that. I don't know, I've been kind of brushing it off. She gets pissed. She's just like, no, you need to go tell someone. And it's like, I don't know, she's only 16. So at this point, Brenda is full rare and ready to tell this 16-year-old off. Which is funny in and of its own. And then I go to stop her, and we both turn around, and we suddenly see the sister and an older man with the girl, kind of in what looked like a heated argument. And we just sort of left it at that. We're like, okay, she's busy. We'll just leave. And they're far enough away that we couldn't hear the full conversation. So as we turn around to leave, we hear very distantly from the father, assumably, quit following her around. He knew the whole time, and he didn't stop her. I guess, you know, authority figure saved the day. Thank you to him for that, because I always joke saying if I had let her, she probably would have followed me home. Moral of the story is, please tell someone, a con staff, the parental guardian, your friend, I don't know, just someone, that this person's making you uncomfortable, and it needs to stop. Don't do what I did and just let it keep going, because otherwise they will probably follow you home if you will let them. So that is the full story. I'm sorry it's a bit awkward. This is kind of my first time doing this sort of thing, and it's been a struggle with my battery dying. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please go ahead and follow me down on Instagram to see more polls on other videos that I want to do, and you can join in and all that. I have my coffee down there, my Facebook, the whole shebang, Twitter. And please consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this, because I definitely want to do more. Have a wonderful day, my darlings, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! The reason I think cosplay storytime would be a cool thing on here is because I have actually been cosplaying since I was 9 years old. I've been to a lot of cons. Doesn't mean I'm an expert or anything. I've just gone to a lot of flippin' cons. If you need proof, here. I keep all of my badges. I'm a hoarder. Does anyone else keep their badges? I keep all my badges, even if they're stickers. Like, even when I first started out cosplaying and you just got the little name tags, yeah, I kept them anyway. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Does anyone remember that song? Am I the only one that still remembers that song? I feel like I am.